What's up? It is Monday, November 13th, and we back at it. Make sure to get the agenda in there, and then also I just did want to point this out. Let me go back to this. Is there's one more week, so we got one more week, 7 days. And it's not really 7 days; it's more like 5 days. But you know who's counting, right? Until we are on Thanksgiving break. So just remember that we got to grind hard for a week, and then we out here for a whole break, right? Okay, cool. These were things that were due in the last week, so make sure you guys got those turned in. Also, there is a journal check coming up this week, and it will be on Fridays. You see right there, it's the 17th. So I just want to point that out. There is a journal check this week on Friday. I had to make a small correction. It's journal check number 7, so it's down there again. That is due on Friday. Make sure you turn in that the CERs are all turned in. I started messaging people. I didn't get to everyone, but we're gonna have a chance to look at that. But that's the next things we're starting to grade. It's the CER. We're not grading this one next, the wrap it up one, and then we're gonna move to this page 75 and 76. Okay. Cool. I just want to talk about this for just a moment. In grading the BMX, a lot of people lost points here, mainly because they did not label. And so without these numbers, these dots don't have a lot of understanding of what they are. Also, without the labels to say that, oh, well, this number right here is the jump height in inches. See, without that information, I don't know what that means, and anyone looking at your graph cannot know what it means. So just remember, when you have a graph, it is important to have all the dots and your trend line, which unfortunately I do not have that here, but make sure you have that on there. And then also make sure that you have it properly labeled and the numbers as well. So you need all of those things. So if you were missing any of those parts, you got 1, 2, 3. Some people had as much as 3 points taken away. Some people didn't do the graph at all, so they got all 4 points taken away. So that was the other thing. And if you didn't put your name, I said resubmit, so you need to resubmit and get everything in there. And I gave very specific feedback, like some people didn't, they put what the slope was, but they didn't put why. So it asked for the context. It also said explain. If it says explain your answer, you got to give a why. If you don't, you lost points on those things. So make sure that you fully answer everything. All right, cool. So we're moving on here. We have report card night. It is this Thursday. Again, report card night is this Thursday from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Are you required to come? No. Are your parents required to come? No. Should they? 100%. They should come and talk to your teacher, say what's up, see what's going on. If they have any questions, this is definitely a time where they could come and get those questions answered. And if they have anything, that way you can be set up for success for the rest of the school year. And again, we're only in week 2 of trimester 2. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to have you guys take a look at your quizzes. So just go ahead and go to your quiz number 3. You should be able to look at it either through grades or assignments, and you should be able to look at the actual quiz. Sometimes it takes a little bit to load, so just realize that, okay? But check at what you got right, what you got wrong, and if you're wanting to retake your quiz grades are already in areas. If you want to retake it, just remember, I will put in a practice tomorrow. So I'll put in a quizzes review practice. You need to complete that with an 80% completion rate in order to be able to retake the quiz. You can sign up if you want to take it in class, during the school day. You can take it during the sting session on Wednesday. Again, during the sting session on Wednesday. Tuesday, we actually have to be in our homeroom. So Tuesday's not available, but Wednesday sting session, you can sign yourself up for that to retake the quiz. Or if you did not take it at all, you can take it on Wednesday again. Okay, y'all? All right, let's move it along. So again, I'm not going to take the time on here, but you want to check your quiz. And so you want to pause this video, check your quiz, check Canvas, and check Aries. Also check your email. So you want to check all of these things in the next few minutes and get yourself together, okay? So make sure you're good. Make sure everything is up to date. If there's any issues, leave me a comment in Canvas. Or if I'm here in the class, I'm like, hey, just come see me. But again, if you're watching this video, I'm presuming I'm either not in the class because I'm missing a few periods today, but Mr. Tafoy will be here for most of those periods. There's one period I will not be here at all, okay? But anyway, long story short, make sure you check Canvas, make sure you check Aries and your email. Now, if you are at home and you're like, I won't be able to take the quiz for a while, just leave me a comment on the quiz and then we can figure it out. Not a problem at all, okay? Not a problem at all. So it's not like a big deal. We'll get it figured out. So anyway, I'm moving on from this slide, but you need to pause and take time to check your quiz grade, check Canvas, and then check Aries as well. So make sure you check those things and check your email, okay? Check all of those things and make sure you're good to go, okay? Cool. So this next section is called gravitational forces. So we're going to talk about that. As you can see over here, this lovely person, I don't know what they're doing, some sort of acrobatic type things, but you can see that gravity is doing something, right? In the way that they're hanging there. So let's just check that out. I'm presuming you've heard about gravity before. So this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to move myself up out the way as much as possible. So on page number, oh, there we go. We're all the way out the way. So you're going to write down your answers on page number 80. And if you actually turn in your book to page number 80, it actually is a blank page. So you should see that. Hold on. Let me see if I can get myself back. Okay. So I am back. And again, page number 80 is actually, let's make it big. Is actually a blank page, so that should be, oh, this page over here, page number 80. So it should be a blank page. So what you're going to want to do in there is you're going to write gravitational forces, APK, right? Cool. And then you just need to write student A, number 1, student A, student B, student C, and student D, right? You just need to write that down. And what I want you to do is, how would you respond to each of these students? So students are having a discussion about what is gravity. So student A says, gravity is the force that pulls down on stuff. Would you say, yeah, you are correct, student A, I think you're correct, or yeah, it is that plus? Or what would you say to them? Student B, I read somewhere that gravity is an attractive force and it exists between all objects that have mass. How would you respond to student B? What would you tell them? No, that's not true. Gravity just pulls down. Like, what would you tell them? Would you say they are correct about saying what is gravity? Student C, that doesn't make any sense. If that's true, then why don't all objects start clumping together and moving towards each other? How would you respond to student C? What would you tell them, right, about what is gravity? And then student D says, doesn't it have something to do with the size of the objects? You're pulling on objects, but Earth is bigger, so it has a stronger pull. How would you respond to student D? What would you tell them about what is gravity? What would you say? So how would you respond to each of these students? So take time to respond to each of these students. Now, for some of you guys, you're like, hey, I actually have these at your guys' table so you can get them right where the books are at, right? And then also I have them in Spanish as well, right there where the books are at, if you need that, okay? So if you need that, if that's a thing for you, then go ahead. Or if you want to take it right off the screen, you can pause the screen and write everything off. And then number 2, way down at the bottom, which student thinking do you agree with the most? Explain your reasoning. So who out of all of these people, who do you agree with the very most, right? So who's the person you agree with the most or you think is the most right? Okay, once you have completed this section, then you can move on to the next section. But make sure to complete all of this first on page number 80, okay? Do that first, then move on to the... Okay, this is the next part, and this is what I want you to do, is once you get here, whoever's the first person to get here, whoever the person you're sitting next to, you can work in pairs or by yourself. If you're sitting by yourself, just work by yourself. But if you are sitting next to someone, talk to them, and then you guys can do this part together. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. I didn't say that the first time, so I'm inserting this in the recording. Work together with the person who is sitting next to you on this portion. Right after this will be the rest of the instructions for this. And then once you guys are done with this, then you guys can go back to wherever you guys were at if you guys are not in the same place. Totally cool. All right, y'all. The next thing. All right. Cool. Now, this is page number 81. So this is the next page, and this is, let's see, page number 81, right? And your page number 81 should look like that. Boom. It should look like this, which is exactly what you see on the screen over there. So you're going to hold the book flat at waist height, okay? Let's try this, right? And then release the book. What did you observe once the book was released? And then you're going to go through and answer these questions, okay? Also, if you look up here, I've wrote IV, DV, CV. So that's independent, dependent, and control variable. I need you to identify those. So make sure you write that in at the very top. IV, DV, CV. Identify what is the independent, dependent, and what are the control variables, okay? So again, you're going to take a book, and if you're at home and you're like, hey, Mr. Farr, I don't have a textbook, that's fine. Get you a book, nice little book that you can drop. One is good that you can drop. And then it said waist height, so I got to go to where my waist is at, and then it says I got to drop it. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna do that a couple times. You know how we do? We do it about 3 times. Okay, I'm gonna do it about 3 times. And what are the things that I'm observing? Right? Like, what did I observe while that was happening? Right? Like, what did I observe while the book was being dropped? What did I feel? Right? What did I feel? What did I hear? Right? What did I hear? What did I see? Right? These are kind of the ways that we observe. Obviously, we didn't taste anything in that case, but again, what did we feel? What did we see? And what did we hear? Right? So these are the things that we're going to be kind of looking for. The other sense that you could actually do some observations with is smell, but in this case, I don't know that there's anything to smell. So again, what did you observe once the book was released? Why do you think the book acted the way it did? What are the interacting objects in the system you observe? Remember that. And then in the space below, draw and label a diagram to identify the interactions of the objects in the system you just observed. So draw the system, make sure to draw arrows for forces, all of those kind of things, okay? So draw all those things in there and make sure to identify the independent, dependent, and control variables, okay? Once you have done that, all right, so pause the screen, get all that done. Once you have done that, then we're going to move to this last part. Now, if you are not here, let's just say you're like, Mr. Farr, I'm at home. Then on page number 78, which is another blank page, then what I need you to do, right, what I need you to do is go ahead and just write this in. So just write this whole thing in. You guys have seen this before, okay? So, but if you are here, then just go to the back of the classroom. These are located at the back of the classroom. And then you know what you got to do. You got to cut the bottom there, right? So I'm going to cut the bottom. You guys already know what to do. We've already done this a few times. Cut the bottom there, and then I got to cut the side. Cut the side so it looks exactly like the screen. Right? So I cut the bottom, I cut that part, and then you should end up with a paper that looks like this. Answer the before instruction, and then go ahead and glue this thing in. Again, answer the before instruction portion, and then go ahead and glue this thing in. And then the question that we're trying to answer, right, is the same thing about the book. Why does an object fall when you drop it? So when you dropped this book, why did it fall to the ground? Okay, so before instruction, go ahead and fill that part in. Again, pause the screen if you need it. Mr. Farr is going to keep going. But again, if you're not here, then go ahead and just draw this in. And if you are in the back of the classroom, you have these sheets, just cut them out, glue them in. Okay, cool. On to the next thing, right? So once you have filled this other part out, then go ahead and see if you can fill out the graphic organizer on page number 79. So you should have this on page number 78. And then right across from it should be 79. See if you can fill that in. You know the drill. We'll come back to this. Don't worry. But see if you can fill this in. Do it in pencil. Do it in pencil. Okay? Do it in pencil. All right. Cool. And last thing is this. Get out your scientific journal. And actually, let me just change this real quick. So just in your scientific journal, label it exit ticket. Okay? So up there, label it exit ticket in your scientific journal. And what I want you to do is imagine you are on the moon. Do you think you would be able to jump higher or lower than if you were on the earth? So your jumping power is still the same, and let's just say you tried to jump maximum jump power, maximum jump. If you had to jump with your maximum jump power on earth, maximum jump power on the moon, which one do you think you would be able to jump higher in, right? Which one of these? And explain your answer. Why? Why would you be able to do that? That's what you got for your exit ticket. And then once you've done that, you are done for the day. All right, y'all. One thing I do want to go back and just say is, actually, no, we're good. We're good. All right. So other than that, Have a nice day. Actually, you know what? Let me just go back to this one last thing. I'm just going to